Autumn or fall, depending which side of the pond you're from, is a fabulous time for colours, and that's really what this picture's all about. Took it at a local arboretum, and some fantastic colours here. As I say, I just really like this. Deliberately threw the background out of focus, and if you're just taking a look in the layers panel, there it is. Now what we're going to do with this, I just want to focus the attention on these particular leaves here, and I also really want to make the colours jump out of this picture. To make a start, we're going to go to Image, we're going to go to Adjustments, we're going to drop down to Match Color. Now the reason for using this is if you just take a look at the picture, you see that what the camera's actually done is it's picked up a lot of the tones from the background as well and applied it to the rest of the leaves. So the first job is to ensure that we get all the correct colors through and the correct detail in the leaves. And that's what we'll be doing in the first stage. So come into the sort of match color, we're going to click on neutralize, and you're thinking that doesn't look right. Quite agree, until we come to the fade slider, moving this to the right hand side, and as we bring it across there, something in this area here, we can see more of the natural colors beginning to come through, still retaining the colors in the background, but look how the color in these leaves have changed. If I just switch the preview on and off there, now we can see the difference. So just taking that a little bit more, just to that sort of area there, that looks pretty good. Again, there's the preview, there's the before, there's the after. We're going to click OK to that. Right, that's something a little bit more natural looking. We're now going to go to Image. No, we're not. I've told a lie. We're going to come to the background layer here in the Layers panel. We're going to right click and we're going to choose Convert to Smart Objects. We've now converted our background layer there to a smart object. Now we're going to go up to Image, Adjustment, and we're going to come down to Shadow and Highlights, and you can see the immediate difference there. Don't forget to check the Show More option box like that, so we can see all these various different sliders. Going to come to the top one, the shadow, going to move this across, taking it back to the left. I'm going to tone that down a little bit. Again, it's the detail we're looking for, particularly in the leaves in the foreground there, so just bringing that back a touch or two. Radius, see what that does. That looks pretty good about there. Right, the highlights, moving these in. I think this is going to be the crucial one here, and you can see the way it's affecting this particular leaf. So let's pop right into this. Let's take a look. Bringing the highlights down, you can see more detail coming through in the leaves there. You can see the veins coming through, or whatever they're called in a leaf. And just bringing that across. That looks pretty good. Checking out the rest of the image as well. And as I say, this first stage is about getting the detail out of the picture. That looks pretty good there. Just going to zoom out a little bit. Job nearly done. Just finally checking the radius as well. And you can see the radius, the way that sort of just pumps up the lightness in the leaf there. That looks pretty good. Again, we're leaving the color correction and everything where it is. Just switching off. There's the before, there's the after, so we can see the difference we've made to that. We're bringing through the colors nicely in the background. Right, to take it the stage further, we're going to go to Image, we're going to go to Duplicate. If you had it in layers, if you've got any other sort of layers going on, click on Duplicate Merge Layers Only. I'm just going to click OK, but Duplicate Merge Layers Only. And the next stage is to go to Image, Mode, and we're going to go to Lab Color. Clicking on Lab Color, it's asking us if we want to rasterize. In other words, clicking rasterize is going to convert it back to a normal layer, but keeping all the hue saturation we've just put in. So that is important to click on rasterize. Right, you'll notice as well it's now Lab at the top there. This one's titled, this is our original, it's titled RGB. We're now in the Lab Color mode. We're going to come down to this little icon here for the adjustment layers, come into Curves. When the Curves dialog box opens, make sure you've got the grid pattern like this. If you come to the top corner, you've got the Curves display option. There's the standard one. Make sure you've got the sort of the smaller grids in, clicking OK to that. You'll also notice you've now got lightness, you've got A and you've got B. We're starting with A. We're going to come to the top corner. We're going to move this across so it comes onto the line there. You'll notice the reds jumping through already, coming to the bottom corner. Again, moving it into this line here. It's beginning to balance the colors out. That looks pretty good. Come to the B channel. You might even want to experiment and just do one of the channels. Just see how it works with your pictures, with your images, moving this in again onto the line. That looks pretty good like that. Coming down to the bottom, moving this across into that sort of area there. And if we just switch this on and off, there's the before, There's the after. Those reds in the background are now really bouncing through, and the colours in the leaves there. Come to the layers panel. There's the before. There's the after. Right, we're going to go to image. We're going to come to mode. We're going to go to RGB color. At this stage now, make sure you click on merge. If you click on OK, it will delete this layer. So click on merge will ensure that it merges this layer down into the background layer there. Talking of the background layer, or layer 1, we're going to click on this and we're going to rename this color. Right, and now we've done that, I've got the hand tool. I'm going to press V on the keyboard. So I've now got my move tool selected, and I'm going to press and hold down the shift key as well. So press and hold down the shift key as well. Now drag this image across. If you're using CS4 as we are here, to the tab, just move it across in any other version of Photoshop. Holding that shift key down all the time will ensure that it goes directly over the top and it comes in perfect registry. And you can see now why we've called it the color layer, so we know exactly what we've done with this layer. And you can see there's the before, there's the after. Okay, it's a bit over the top, but coming to the opacity slider, we're going to drop the opacity down like this until it's that sort of area there. You don't want to put in 100%, but you can see the difference that's making there. What have we got? We've got 62. That looks pretty good. Just go by the colors you can see, and that really looks good. That's making the colors sing out there nicely. Right, want to give just more emphasis to the leaves in the center there, so we're going to come across. We're going to pick up the elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to come in, drag it over the image like that. Looks pretty good. Coming down to the bottom one more time to the adjustment layer, we're going to go to hue saturation. With the hue saturation, I'm going to make the panel a little bit smaller by clicking on that icon there. We're going to come to lightness. We're going to reduce the lightness down to, that looks pretty good. Now you're thinking this is dark on the inside. If you're using CS4, you can click on the mask tab, clicking on invert, so we've now inverted it. Now we can come to the feather, and we can bring the feather across until this comes in nicely like that. Looks pretty good. Right, but we can adjust it even further again. But before we do this, what I'm going to do is I'm just quickly going to bin this all. By doing that, so we've deleted it. Let's go back to the beginning, because I'll show you another method in case you are not using CS4. As we did, we're just going to drag this over. Let's go back to my layers panel one more time and just quickly come to hue saturation and just reduce the lightness down a touch or two. Now we're going to go to the layers panel. We're going to use Command I or Control I to invert the mask. So that's Command I or Control I to invert the mask. Go into filter. We're going to go to blur. We're going to go to Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it by, it depends on the file size you're working with. This is a relatively big file size, so we're going to increase that up like that. Click OK. So that's where we were with the CS4 version as well. Pressing V again. There's our move tool. We can actually move this around. But we can even use Command T or Control T, and we can come into this. We can actually begin using the transform tool on this as well, just to move this around, just bringing this a little bit like that, bit on the side as well. And there you go, just dropping it in a touch on the top there, and you can see the difference that's making to the image. Gone a little bit lopsided. There it is. Go on, give it a try. Let's just take a quick look. This is the image we started off with. There it is there. This is our finished image like that. As I say, go on, give it a go. Just going to use Control or Command 0 to open it up. Putting it, getting rid of the tools there, put it on a black background. There are our autumn colours. Go on, give it a try. Until the next time, happy imaging and take care.